We think what makes a great city is a city where someone starts at the bottom rung of the ladder and gets to move up. That's a great city. That's why Houston's wonderful. Houston is full of stories of people who came here with $25 and a couple of friends and a dream. They're here because they're willing to take risks and take on a challenge and through their own efforts make their lives better.
I grew up outside of Detroit Metropolitan Airport. So a lot of times in the summer, the flight path would make a turn right over our yard and head for the runways. And I remember that for years. From the age of 5, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I thought it was really neat if you could take off from a small little tiny strip of asphalt, fly halfway around the world or even out of the state, and land this thing. It's amazing. So I went to school and started getting into flying airplanes. I think I'm very lucky to pick something I wanted to do as a kid and do it. I went as far as I could. In December of 1973, got a draft notice, and it was for Vietnam. And I thought, if I got to go do this, I'd rather be flying. So I ran off and joined the Air Force since everything was airplanes. We were in B-52s. I'd say, push this button and look through the viewer. And I'd see all kinds of massive destruction. And then when you kind of start thinking about what happened, you grow up really quick. I met my wife when I returned. I wasn't really in love. I shouldn't have ever got married. I just let it happen and never stopped it. Then when my daughter came along, I knew that she was going to be something else. Because I had had previous medical experience, I delivered her. If you could actually get right down and deliver your own child that you created, it's incredible. Still, I didn't have the whole family thing, really. I was focusing on a career. There's one point in my life that I lived in Orlando. I would leave Orlando on Thursday, and I would fly completely around the Earth. From Japan on a Saturday night, I would fly straight to Anchorage, Alaska, again at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'd catch a plane to Orlando, and after going completely around the globe, I would be home watching the 10 o'clock news in my living room. So around the world in 80 days, I could do it in less than 72 hours. I sacrificed so much trying to become an airline pilot. I feel like I've missed a lot of life with my daughter. I've missed graduation ceremonies. I've missed birthdays. I've missed Christmases from being overseas with the airlines. We had a split family. She would come with me for a while and go to her mother's. You know, I got through the whole child support thing. I met my future wife in 1984. Her name was Sharon. She was a poor girl who worked her way up. We just got along well. She was my buddy. 2 or 3 years later, she started getting sick. She had lost her toe from diabetes, then her foot, then her leg. Basically from 1986 to 2008 is how long she progressively got worse. It was incredible to watch her body slowly shut down. You can be as supportive as you can, but you just can't change things. I don't know what to say. I did the best I could with every nickel I had, and it was nickels. Pretty much 3/4 of all the income I ever had went to her medical condition. I'd go from flying aircraft, which is very stressful, to walking into my home life for a week or two, to watching this body slowly dissolve. But it was my honorable duty to do that for her and give her the best I could and the best final funeral and everything else. Yet at the same time, I had a feeling of relief that this doesn't have to go on anymore. About 3-4 months later, I just quit the flying altogether. Mentally, I couldn't deal with it all. Instead of a stress breakdown, I just decided I still am healthy enough to start a new chapter in my life. I want to learn something else. I got a call from the VA, and they said to me, "You're a Vietnam vet. How would you like to go back to school? We'll give you $18,000, but the catch is you have to have a high-demand profession." And so I thought, anybody wants to pay school for me, I'm going. It's like holding lightning in my hands. I've got temperatures of 5,000 degrees. I'm making sparks, I'm making smoke. Actually, once again in my life, returned to having fun. It's awesome. I looked around the country and found out that Houston had summer welding classes.
Strike from down.
Down?
Yeah.
Not up.
No, you strike from down to get it started, to heat the rod up. Any questions? No. Let's see what you got.
And there's 28 major oil companies here. I figured I can't lose. So that's why I headed here. Feels great to be able to do something with your hands and leave a legacy of a fresh bridge, a newer building. Know you had a part of that. I think it's actually an honorable profession. I really feel good about doing something to help. I started looking for welding jobs, and I found a few of them. But the way it works in a welding profession is when you go to apply for a job, you have to take a welding test. So in order to do that, I need more hands-on practice.
All right, good afternoon, gentlemen. None of you guys yesterday showed me that you really understood what's going on.
I don't want to walk into an employer and do an okay job.
One thing you did was turn it up.
It's got to be good.
So for now,
But I got no money.
Because I want you to make sure you get a good understanding of how we're going to do it and how it should be done right.
For me, it's embarrassing to ask for help because I always have this attitude. I'm a healthy, able-bodied guy who can be able to do anything. Shoveling crap out of a horse stall or directing airplanes to park. But sometimes you just have to ask for help because you can't do it all on your own. That's the toughest lesson I've learned. And that's why I actually broke down and went to Workforce Solutions. It's a job service center. I went to Workforce Solutions and asked them if they could help me get practiced up to be able to take a welding test.
So what's going on today?
We've just, Monica said, to basically, they might have those checks today. I'm looking for some car tires, some vehicle repair.
Okay.
And they offered me help that I couldn't believe. They offered me a grant for 2 welding classes. So the first time I got any money from them, I actually did a happy dance when I left the office.
Okay, we have the voucher for the tires.
Yes. And then the very next day, she said, I have some more money for you. Not to live on. It's to pay my school, the car insurance, the gas to get to the school. Wow. Fantastic. I believe that they handed me the keys to the rest of my life. But I'm glad I tried to do all I could before I had to go for help. Otherwise, I would have thought this is easy. I don't want to fall into that thing of depending on the government services constantly. But I don't think without the help I would be surviving. I just don't know how I would get along. I don't know what I would do. And I don't think there's any power in here because the light doesn't go on. I just put money in the machine and nothing's happening. So I think the power's been tripped here. Is there any way we could have somebody just check the circuit breaker for the laundry room? But to survive like this, it's just hard. Okay, now do I get a refund on this?
I can see you the check. How much did you lose?
Well, it's $1.25. Now I'm in a transition period where I'm struggling every day. I have Zippo income. I have to fight to keep my lights on here. I never know from one minute to the next if I'm going to get locked out. I'm worse than poor. I'm just skating homelessness. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know. I can't tell you 2 days from now if I'm going to have anything to eat. I'm fighting the best I can. I'm looking for stuff every day. I've heard of people out here that are pipeline inspectors working at 75 and 80. I'm going to go to work and work hard. Now that I'm 59 and getting older, I think the most important thing in my life is to pay it back. It's time to focus on the other ones, my daughter and my grandkids. It's their world now. And I'm just going to go out there and I'll be working every day, every week, every month for the rest of my life, which I'm looking forward to.